Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we are going to be talking about Ripple and XRP, as well as the vast majority of crypto and finance. And with that being said, I hope that you are all having a beautiful day or a beautiful night if you guys are out there in the world. So recently, we started to see some major banks really kind of testing out tokenized deposits, jumping in on the tokenization space. Tokenization, for the most part, has been the big talk for well over a year now. And we were really kind of hinting at it for a while as well, before a lot of the institutional names started to kind of jump on the train. But tokenization is going to be one of the biggest things for the next couple years and probably for the next decade at least, because tokenization is unlocking a tremendous amount of opportunity. It is unlocking a tremendous amount of liquidity and also even revenue generation. And I do think that as we really look at tokenization, we need to be aware of the names that are at the forefront of this. Remember that the XRP ledger was purpose-built for specific use cases surrounding, of course, tokenization and DeFi initiatives. So I'm very excited for tokenization to become this big topic like it has over the last year. And I'm very excited about those OG projects that have been around for so long that were really kind of at the forefront of tokenization initially. But a lot of people are just overlooking because they don't really care about it because it's been around for a while and the price action has been stagnant. So let's just forget about it, right? But that's where everyone is going to go wrong, because we do know that Ripple has been fully focused on institutional DeFi initiatives and even tokenization initiatives. Do I need to take you guys back to November, where we did see Ripple targets $30 trillion real estate market with XRP ledger tokenization expansion. And like I said, as we really look at some of these asset classes, I mean, real estate is a global $300 trillion plus asset class, but it is one that is illiquid. It's one that is ripe for disruption through, tokenization. We even see down here that by representing physical assets like real estate as digital tokens on a blockchain, tokenization offers a way to fractionalize ownership and potentially increase liquidity in markets that are traditionally illiquid. And real estate is one that is illiquid. So imagine how much could be on chain, especially even in terms of the XRP ledger. Because remember, Ripple is at the forefront of this. Ripple is a big name. They've been around for a very long time. They have deep connections with some very large players. So this is something that I have been watching for. And then also, just back in February, we did see a big update around the XRP ledger possibly processing $30 to $50 trillion by 2025. And this is actually from the Arctic CEO, which we did talk about, right? Do I think that his prediction's a little bit crazy? It's a little bit out there, right? Because this is by the end of 2025, $30 to $50 trillion, $30 to $50 trillion on the XRP ledger, all through XRP. I mean, it is a very substantial amount. But when we are talking about quadrillions of dollars being disrupted by tokenization on some of these major networks, it's not that big of a stretch. But, by the end of 2025, we'll have to wait and see. But I do think that the XRP ledger will see a very large amount of money. I know that it's going to be in the trillion. I don't know if it's going to be 30 to 50 initially by the end of 2025, but I do think that we could see, a couple trillion already on the XRP ledger by the end of 2025, which I do think that is it's going to be pretty interesting to see how things work out. But why am I bringing up all of this? Well, let's talk about a few things. So just recently, 16 hours ago, Securities Regulatory Association IOSCO adds tokenization to work plan. Now, this was actually pretty interesting because this happened on Friday. The IOSCO published an update to its work plan, adding financial asset tokenization as a topic alongside artificial intelligence. The body is the global standard setter for securities. Now, mind you, this also is coming at a time where the BIS is promoting the unified ledger concept. We're starting to see CBDCs really kind of being pushed heavily. The EU has their own pilot DLT regime. The digital security sandbox in the UK is also happening as well. Like, we're starting to see some very, very large moves being made. And, we really kind of look at what's been happening around some of these major regulatory bodies like the IOSCO. And even last year, we know that they published its policy recommendations on cryptocurrencies and DeFi. In its updated work plan, it added the task of monitoring the implementation of its recommendations for digital assets and decentralized finance. So, this is a regulatory body that has been at the forefront of regulations. Again, this is a crucial step in the direction of finally implementing and adopting specific networks and utilizing them at scale. That's where we really kind of look at trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars. Regulations are a big obstacle. Over here, we have Barclays, Lloyds testing tokenized deposits in Britain, right? This is those major banks. We talked about it just recently. When we look at some of the moves being made here, it leads us back to what these regulatory bodies have been doing and who are they working with. So as we look at Ripple, right, and we have these major predictions about like $30 to $50 trillion on the XRP ledger, and this is with the help of course, with Ripple, because they are targeting trillions and trillions of dollars in terms of tokenization expansions. We go back to 2020. That's right, December of 2020. According to the IOSCO December 2020 International Organization of Securities Commissions, XRP is a utility token. Shout out to Matthew Lin Y for this. Here we have the full breakdown of December 2020 from the IOSCO. Here we have, these are basically cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin, Litecoin, etc., and most transferable utility tokens. For example, Ether and XRP can be widely transferred and traded, but also have certain applications. You know, this is very interesting because remember, this is December of 2020, right around the same time that the SEC lawsuit dropped. But it hints at the idea that the IOSCO knows about XRP. They know about the utility behind it as well. But more recently, on December 26, 2023, there was a great post by 801_XRP. We're so close to adoption. IOSCO put out its policy recommendations for crypto and digital assets markets, including DeFi. IOSCO must now focus its efforts to promote, support, monitor, and assess adoption and implementation of effective regulatory regimes for crypto assets across IOSCO member jurisdictions. 2024 is looking bright. And yeah, I mean, like, these are the moves being made on the backside of things, while everyone is fully focused on what the SEC is doing, what these, fake regulators, which I really kind of call them, because remember that the SEC it's basically owned by Wall Street. And who owns Wall Street? Banks. So when we really look at what the SEC has been doing, I'm not really putting a lot of weight behind them. I'm putting a lot of weight behind these regulatory bodies that have been the big decision makers around majority of what we see today, even in the financial markets. That's why we look at the CFTC, we look at the IOSCO, we look at the FSB as well. Like, these are the big organizations. But outside of this, there was also a great post that I saw by Chad Steingraber and also Bank XRP. He's quoting Bank XRP, and we have customers don't see or realize crypto XRP is being utilized. Layer on custody, Medico, and tokenization is coming. Now, I'm going to play this clip here in a second. There's actually two clips here, and the individuals in these clips are one, Eric Van Miltenberg, who's the SVP at Strategic Initiatives with Ripple. And we also have some other individuals here as well from the BIS and also from the GBBC and also Visa. So these are very significant players around the traditional world of finance. But again, talking about Medico and tokenization, yes, this is all infrastructure layer technology. This is all foundational layer technology that no one's really going to be realizing that they're utilizing this technology. They're not going to say, "Oh, am I using XRP?" No, they don't care. They're not going to realize it. That's what we're kind of seeing right now with a lot of the implementation and adoption of the crypto technology, right? Even Citi told us that, hey, mass adoption happens when you have implementation and nobody's realizing what they're using. It's the same exact thing with the internet, right? Nobody cares about TCP over IP. They don't care about that stuff. They just care about what they are going to be able to utilize that internet for, whether that be social media, just watching YouTube, whatever it is, right? That's all they care about. It's the same exact way that I look at finance, right? Nobody cares about the technology on the back end of payments. They only care about if their payment is going to settle in a specific time at a specific price, etc., right? So again, the underlying technology here, it's going to go unnoticed. But that's the best part about this, because that is mass adoption at scale where you have trillions of dollars moving over it. And it doesn't even need to be all the money. Everyone has always been saying all the money with XRP. It doesn't have to be all the money. Just a small percentage of things can change everything for XRP. But over here we have Ripple. The fact that we have hundreds of customers, we've done over 27 million transactions, over $55 billion of volume moved. We are beyond a testbed or a proof of concept. We're out there moving real money. We have for years. Check it out.
Again, I can speak for Ripple. The fact that we have hundreds of customers over the life cycle of Ripple, we've done 27 million transactions, over $55 billion of volume moved. So this is well beyond, per the earlier comments, sort of a test bed or a proof of concept. We're out there moving real money. We have for years. So I'll stop there, but I'm sure we then sort of went to this next step, which was addressing liquidity by leveraging a digital asset. In our case, we use one called XRP as a bridge currency between really a fiat transaction. So from the end user's perspective, they didn't really understand or need to understand that crypto was involved. All they saw was faster, it was cheaper, it was more reliable, it was available 24/7. So all big improvements on what was happening before. And so we're continuing to move down that continuum, if you will, and we're taking more and more of the complexity on our backs, getting even into the flow of funds as opposed to just providing a technology. So we're licensed now in many states in the US. We have a BIT license in New York. We've applied for licenses throughout the world. We have our major payments institution license recently granted by the MAS in Singapore. So over time, we really want to be that go-to place where you can move money quickly whenever you want, however you want, and then start to layer on these other building blocks, if you will. So custody, I heard was mentioned in the prior panel, super important. We made an acquisition there last year. A Swiss company actually named Medico is now part of the Ripple family. And you can imagine tokenization is on the list, et cetera, et cetera. So anyway, I'll stop there. I'm sure we'll get.
Now, the second clip over here is this one, which is, again, Todd Fox from Visa. I don't want anybody watching at home or in the room to be like, wow, the BIS, Visa, and they think that the world's just awesome and Ripple's going to solve it. Check this out.
So I'm definitely optimistic.
And even though I'm the one that has been cheerleading this process, I think that we should speak up for the things that might go wrong. Because I don't want anybody watching at home or in the room to be like, wow, the BIS, Visa, and they think that the world's just awesome and Ripple's going to solve it. But obviously, this is a hard problem. Otherwise, it would have been solved a long time ago. And one of the big issues that comes up is like the compliance cost. It's not like some greedy banker is sitting there being like, I'd love to help all these poor people in an emerging economy, but I'm just going to use the limited resources I have for something else. I think that there is a genuine concern that leads to that de-risking, and there is also a sense that that is getting worse. So to speak up and sort of strike a blow for the money center banks in the audience, it's not like we're all saying that the old system has to go away for some new thing to be born. I often liken, enhancing cross-border payments to movies because I'm a film buff. And I would say, there's this idea that the paradigm has to change. So you go from like Blockbuster to Netflix. That's the way innovation works. But in fact, like it may be what we're really talking about is like bringing in 3D, making the current film-going experience just so much better that generates all these additional value opportunities in these adjacent industries. And I think that once we start to see the movement in that direction, then we'll see, the Avatar and Avengers Endgame of payments, and that's when it really comes together. But I think that right now there is, to be clear, still a lot of uncertainty around like how the regulatory framework is going to look.
So as you guys can say, right, this is the last step. That's what we have been saying. Regulations are the last step. Just like he is addressing here, it's not about, oh, hey, Ripple's going to replace everything. The old system's all going to be... Guys, it's not about replacing. Just like he's saying here, It's not about like, hey, Ripple's Netflix and everything else is just Blockbuster. No. When we look at what's going on here, Ripple has said it themselves. Improve, not replace. Everyone has always said that, oh, Bitcoin's going to replace the dollar. Take a second to step back and think about how stupid that sounds. It's not so much a problem of education, but it's just a generalization that is exaggerated to make Bitcoin seem great. When in all actuality, Bitcoin's not really solving for much. Bitcoin is a scarce asset that for the longest time has been just viewed as a store of value. And so far, it has done a very good job at that. The problem that I see with this space is that everyone's always thinking of, oh, let's escape the traditional system. Let's replace the traditional system. But that's why I love the idea of what Ripple has been viewing with utilizing XRP and the XRP ledger. They're trying to improve, not replace. That's why we have, really kind of witnessed such a massive success in terms of what Ripple has been doing and who they have been working with, right? Because they are working with the BIS. They are working with these big organizations and institutions, and it's because they want to actually help them complement and improve their systems. Just like, Todd is saying here, it's almost like incorporating 3D into movies. It's just another great feature that has value added that could ultimately lead to, a major win. But there's one last step, and it is regulations. But have you noticed that almost every single regulatory body out there has talked about Ripple and even XRP in a very, very good light, besides the SEC? Also, I don't think that I even need to say it, but XRP is not a security by the court of law for at least the next 2 years almost. So with that being said, to summarize things, yes, trillions on top of trillions on top of trillions are going to flow into the space onto those that are compliant, those that have been working with regulators. Ripple has been doing that. The XRP ledger as we know it, is cleared. It has clarity. And, this is where we really kind of look at, where's the space going to be in a couple years from now? What's going to be happening in a couple years from now? Well, we already know the answer. Tokenization, DLT, and blockchain, it's going to be heavily adopted within the traditional systems. Institutions are already on board. They're tapped in, and it's only a matter of time now. All that needs to be, fixed is regulations. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on if you guys want more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord in the description below. And with that being said, guys, it's been Nick. Thanks for watching. Peace out.